Unfortunately, I wish we could just talk about it openly on YouTube, but we just can't do it on here.
You know,
There's a lot of rubbish. There's a lot of rubbish out there. There's a lot of people that spew a lot of rubbish.
yeah,
I was thinking earlier that a lot of people
yeah,
on YouTube, just like that video I was showing with a mother and father and Gaia Earth, Mother Earth, all that shit. People would rather hear that. They would rather get a fake answer. Most people would rather get that
yeah,
than say to themselves, "Well, we don't exactly know how all this was created."
yeah,
They would rather get a fake, stupid answer that really doesn't make any sense,
yeah,
like this mother-father stuff and all these different densities and
yeah,
7D and 6D and Gaia Earth and Earth is going to heal us and all this bullshit. Most people prefer that. I think they
yeah,
prefer
yeah,
fake shit than just somebody saying, you know what, we don't know exactly. But what doesn't add up is this didn't come from anything good. It is a
yeah.
big waste of time. I've tried it my whole life, and I've come to the conclusion that if they're not seeking it themselves, it's impossible to get them to see it or be interested. Most
Yeah,
people are not interested in the truth. They don't want to look. They're not strong enough to face it. They don't want to look. They don't care about it. And I think they are different species
yeah,
spiritually. They really don't give a shit.
yeah,
I'm gonna read this comment here. It came to mind with what we were talking about.
yeah,
This chalk body outline guy has a channel.
yeah,
He made a series of videos about me months ago.
yeah,
He put, quote, I have a harem of women, can eat whatever extravagant meal I want and can buy property anywhere I choose, end quote, dash Steven. Also, Steven, this place is a hell realm, end quotes. He doesn't seem to understand. He's too fucking stupid to understand that I'm not the realm. He can't differentiate between me and the realm. If my life is good or good at the moment, it doesn't mean that it isn't a hell realm. My life can be great, but how many millions of children are starving and suffering every day in the same realm? I'm not the realm. I'm one being in the realm. He's too dumb to fucking realize that I'm not the realm.
yeah,
So what he measures a hell realm, he can't fathom it being a hell realm if somebody has money or if somebody has whatever food they want to eat, with this and that. He can't fathom that they're still in a hell realm. He just doesn't understand. That's the
no,
level most people are at in this realm. That's actually the perfect comment to illustrate what level the average fucking fool is at in this realm, is that guy right there. If my life was glorious and beautiful and fun and great and whatever, comfortable, my body's still going to get old and rot and decay and get ill and die. No matter how good my life is currently, there's still going to be children that are born deformed and disabled and get leukemia at 7 years old, and children in wheelchairs and abused children all over the world, all over this realm.
yeah,
My life doesn't change that. My life doesn't change the realm. Me living and dying, if I died tonight, if I passed away in my sleep and I was gone, this is still a hell realm if I'm not here anymore. I'm not the factor, but that dumbass and others like that can't quite fathom that this is a hell realm. It doesn't matter if currently my life is going okay. I'm not the realm. I'm one spirit in the realm. They
yeah,
can't quite fathom that. They can't understand because they're functioning at such a low level. These demons are tricky.
yeah,
They use mind control. They use illusions. They use nightmares. They use diseases. They use all this shit to harm us and control us. And they use reincarnation. They use fake dead relatives to trick us back here. They use tricks. They use all kinds of tactics that are clever. They're not stupid. This was just a prison. Then it would just rely on fences and walls. But it's
yeah,
trickier than that.
yeah,
It's trickier because in a real prison, they don't pay the guards. They pay the money, but they don't pay the money to trick the inmates all day long to come up with ways to make the inmates believe they're not in prison.
yeah,
The guards will tell them they're in fucking prison and throw them in a cell. They're reliant in real earth prisons. They're reliant on the physical security, the bars, the walls, the razor wire. It doesn't rely on that in this place.
yeah,
It relies on trickery. It relies on lies, illusions, mind control.
yeah.
That's what it relies on in this
Yeah.
place. It relies on religion telling you, you know what? Oh, you might be in a bad place, but you're going to go to heaven. You just believe in Jesus.
That's
But
it. Yeah,
that just keeps people here. It just keeps them recycled. You know,
yeah.
they're the kind of dumbasses. There was a channel, Mark Dice channel years ago.
Oh, yeah, Mark Dice.
He used to show like this gold coin
Oh,
and
yeah,
then maybe a chocolate bar, and the
yeah,
dumb idiots would pick the candy bar instead of the gold coin. These people are functioning at that level. They're so stupid that a demon could say to them, you know what? You can stay in this world forever, and we'll give you a good job. We'll give you this. You don't have to be a slave. You'll have an easy life here, and they would take that deal. They're that stupid.
yeah. They are, I
If
mean,
somebody like me could hand them the truth for free without charging them a cent, without asking for anything in return, on a silver platter,
yeah,
I could come like a butler holding a big silver platter with truth on it, saying, "Here, for free, take this truth. It will, if you look into this, it will help you be able to choose freedom and see where you are." And they'll take the silver platter and throw it right in the garbage,
yeah,
right into a bin. That's what they do. Defend God and attack truth speakers. Anybody that says the truth about this being a hell realm, about their God being evil, they hate me for showing that their God's evil. They hate
yeah,
that. They really hate that I'm showing what their God is
yeah,
in my videos, and I keep showing that their God is evil,
yeah.
and they don't like it.
No, no.
They really don't like it, but I find it funny that they get so triggered and riled up by the truth. The truth provokes them more than anything else in this place.
Yeah,
I would say to them, where's the goodness? If God is good, where's the goodness from God in
yeah,
this realm? Shouldn't there be just, we should be tripping over goodness. It should be everywhere. We should be able to just go outside and just pick food right off of trees or have an abundance where nobody goes hungry. And like this place is not designed to be good, this whole realm. So if God is good, where's all the goodness? Where's
yeah,
the goddamn goodness in this fucking place? Like they're praying to this entity or being or whatever. But what is it? It's just a demon that they're giving prayers to.
yeah,
There's whole floors of hospitals with children with leukemia. Where's God looking after them?
yeah,
There's children in India crawling around in the dirt streets with no food, begging for coins or begging for whatever money. Where's God? Where is God in this fucking place that helps anybody? Where's the God that they're praying to? Where's the goodness of this fucking place? Because their God doesn't care if anybody is suffering in pain, doesn't
yeah,
care if anybody's starving, homeless, has no clothing, no shoes. It's all up to us.
yeah,
People have to fight every day to survive in this fucking place, and then people say that God is good. Well, if God's good, where's the goodness? Where's all the goodness? If I was a good God, you know how much goodness there would be in this place?
yeah,
You
yeah.
wouldn't be able to walk 2 feet without goodness.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
So where's all the fucking goodness? That's what I want these believers in God to. This is an open challenge to anyone that might be listening that believes in a good God.
yeah,
Hop on here and tell me where all the goodness is.
yeah,
Where's all the goodness from your good God?
yeah, yeah.
It
And
should be falling off the trees. You should never go hungry in this place and be worried about survival and shelter and clothing and food, water, clean water. Like it's hard enough to even get clean water in this place.
yeah,
Here's what your food grows in. No matter if you eat vegetables or meat, it doesn't matter what you eat.
yeah,
If they don't spread this shit on the grass, eventually the soil becomes where nothing grows in it. There's no
yeah,
nutrients left if they keep planting stuff. The design of this realm is what I'm getting at. You have to grow stuff in shit. This is
yeah,
a shit spreader. This is a muck spreader, but it's a shit spreader. And this is what I want people to understand. So this is what farmers do, whether people want to believe it or not. Go out to the countryside. Some people have never gone outside the city in their life that live in New York City or some big city, Toronto or wherever. It could be London, UK. They've never been out the countryside. This this is what they do. They spray this onto the fields. Now they'll spray it onto grass where the cows graze to grow the grass and also to grow wheat and to grow vegetables, but also for cattle. Everything is grown in shit. You're literally in a sewer matrix. Whether people get uncomfortable hearing that, that's what you're living in. This is a fucking sewer matrix where all the food you eat, whether you eat pigs, pork, or beef, or chicken, or vegetables, or fruit, it's all grown in shit. Okay, it's all grown in shit. It's all grown in shit.
It's no wonder people say they feel like shit because
they're eating shit. They're eating shit. They don't even know it. They don't even know they're eating shit, but they're eating shit.
Yeah.
And you can show them this stuff, and they'll shake their heads and they'll deny it. But this is what you're eating. And people will say, well, why are they spreading shit on the crops? Why don't they stop doing that? If they stop doing that, eventually that soil wouldn't be able to grow jack shit without the shit. It wouldn't be able to grow vegetables or grass. Nothing would grow. It would get so depleted after growing crops there that there's nothing in the soil left to grow anything. So they're spreading shit to get the nitrogen and those chemicals into the soil. Yeah. That's the reason for it. Nobody's talking about this. They might call it hell realm, but I call it a sewer matrix. And I show why it is a sewer matrix. Everything that you flush down the toilet, whether it goes into a sewer or where it goes, it ends up in the lakes and in the rivers and in the ocean. All of it. Our waste, okay? It gets treated, supposedly, at treatment plants. There's no way to just get rid of waste in this realm. It all gets recycled. All of it. Our piss and shit, from humans. All of it does. If it goes into a septic tank, it goes into the soil and it goes into the groundwater. So do the bodies in, absolutely. It comes into the tap water. Absolutely, Michelle. Absolutely. It all gets recycled, including the rainwater. There's sewage in rainwater, molecules of piss and shit in rainwater that rains down on us. It all goes round and round. It all gets recycled. It all gets recycled here. So do corpses in the graveyards. They don't just stay in the coffins, people. Eventually the coffins rot, the bodies rot, that goes into the ground and it goes into groundwater. So I hate to tell you this, but you're eating and drinking shit and piss and corpses of people and animals. Everything gets recycled. Everything here gets recycled in this realm. You're in a recycling matrix. You cannot escape the shit. Nina said exactly. And I mean, that's the way it is. Here's the recycling symbol that represents this realm. It's a recycling system for everything. It's a closed system, just like a plant growing in a bottle. And then there's condensation and then it rains down again. Everything gets recycled. Every raindrop. All the water here is the same droplets of water as 1 million years ago, if this place is 1 million years old. The age of this matrix can't be proven, but you get what I'm saying. It's all here. It never leaves. Just like plastic that gets buried in the ground or diapers or whatever, it never leaves. Everything gets recycled in this place, including us, including humans. It all does, okay? All of it. Everything in this place does.
Yeah.
Everything.
Absolutely everything.
Absolutely everything. Think of this earth being like a snow globe with a glass dome over it. You could call that a firmament, you could call it a dome, whatever. It all gets recycled. It goes up and condensates and then it rains down again. It's a closed system. It all goes round and round and round. It is a super shitty realm, exactly, Uni. It's a sewer matrix. And others might talk about hell realm, but I go much deeper than that. I talk about how everything was recycled in this place. And I just go much deeper than any of these other channels do. And I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back. I'm saying it to warn people because they're going to try to take my model and they're going to try to degrade it and ruin it and water it down and warp it because they're going to try to play around with it so that it gets fucked up and that people get the wrong message out there. That's what they're going to try to do.
Yeah.
Well, they use red dyes for the steaks. They're not really that red. They dye the meat. They do all kinds of things post production. They feed the cattle soy. They feed them Roundup on the grass, weed killer. We're eating weed killer. There's weed killer even in your cereal and your Cheerios and stuff like that. They'll find glyphosate and weed killer. They're feeding children weed killer in the cereal. I mean, this is what they're feeding people. Yeah. And then people that celebrate their God, our God is an awesome God. Well, your God doesn't care if your children eat poison for breakfast. Your God doesn't care if your children have Roundup in their cereal. Your God doesn't care what's in the baby formula. Your God doesn't care. Your God doesn't care at all about anything. I mean, if I was the architect or designer of a realm, I would never have people eating shit, eating waste. Like the way that this is designed is gross. It's gross. It's sickening. And that's without all the sprays and poisons and the hormones they put in things and all the different shit that they put in. Our food supply is disgusting. It's utterly disgusting. Not to mention the water supply, the chlorine, the fluoride, and everything, and all kinds of other things as well. You're drinking all kinds of stuff to get it out of the tap. I mean, it's basically unavoidable. You can only reduce the amount of shit and disgusting things. You can try to reduce the amount, but it's unavoidable. You can't get away from it in this place.
No, it's impossible.
It's impossible. Exactly. You could buy spring water. You could have a distiller. You could go all through this stuff. But when you come right down to it, every drop, every molecule in this place gets recycled in this physical sewer matrix. And spirits get recycled too. Is what I want to get through to people. That's what reincarnation is. It's the recycling of spirits. Yeah, they laugh even more at the people that are begging to stay and begging God and praying to God and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean the ones that had near-death experiences that are begging to stay in the fake quote heaven. The ones that are begging to Jesus saying, "Please let me stay," and he's going, "No, you have more work to do. You have a mission. You have to go back. It's not your time, my child. You have to go back down to earth and just tell them that I exist and tell them to love more. Tell everybody on earth to love more." They must be laughing their asses off at the millions of near-death experiencers that come back here. Yeah, they come back here saying, "Well, God didn't let me stay, but God is real and He's good and He told us to love more. But He sent you back to hell, you dummies." Like that's the part they're missing. They're missing a huge piece of the puzzle. And as long as they're missing that, they will stay here and keep coming back here. Not because I say so, but because they're ignorant. Because they need to get their ego in check. They need somebody to tell them point blank to their face, which hardly happens anymore in this realm. You're wrong. You got duped. You got tricked. You believed in a fake God. You got to get your head on straight and face where you are. That's what these people need to be told, that we're duped into coming back here. Here's Jesus. Here's Jesus. I don't know if it came up on your screen yet, but
I can see him.
You see him?
Yeah.
They're praying to Him. They're praying for Him to come back too. Please come back, Jesus. Save us, Jesus. You've abandoned us for over 2,000 years, but Jesus is coming back soon to help us. And here I have Him holding a weapon, and I also have Him in a hell realm with flames, because He's the same as the fucking devil. It's the same creature.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the same thing, and people need to understand this. I mean, I don't know why he'll just point and say, "It's not me, it's that guy over there. He's the bad guy. The devil, he's the bad guy. I'm the good guy. I'm Jesus." But people get fooled by this simple shit. It's laughable. Jesus in the Bible, it says Jesus went to hell and also on a mountaintop, and the devil showed him the world and said, "All of this can be yours," and all this stuff. Well, it's the same being.
Yeah, the same piece of shit.
It's Janus. It's two faces. It's the same fucking creature. It's a two-faced creature. Yeah. Jesus and the devil. It's one fucking entity. It's one thing.
Yeah. We had all
why don't the Christians sing that? Remember the singing when you were on "Our God is an awesome God"? That whole thing. Why don't they sing "Our God is a jealous God"? Why don't they ever sing that? Yeah. That's more honest than saying it's an awesome God. Why do they sing that their God's an awesome God? Why don't they call it a jealous, spiteful God? Our God is a spiteful God. Like, why don't they just tell the truth about what they're worshiping?
Well, you know what?
These mega churches that have 10,000 or 20,000 people, these huge stadiums. Why don't they sing the fucking truth in the street? I don't want anything that this spiteful, evil, sickening, sadistic monster, beast, creature wants that people worship and call God. It's a fucking demon. That's what it is. Righteous anger, and righteous rage is a spiritual thing. When something needs to be corrected. Yes, and we need masculine men, and we also need feminine women to have any type of good society. Even then, we'd be in hell realm still. But it was better when men were more masculine and women were more feminine. And that is a war on humanity and trying to weaken us, because then it makes their agendas easier, because nobody stands up and because people are so confused. They have women battling men, and a lot of men are not masculine these days. A lot of women are not feminine. A lot of people are confused. I mean, there's people now confused and teaching their children to be confused about their gender, and it's messed up. But it's confusion by design. They can weaponize confusion. A lot of people say, normies will say that the world's so confused, but that's by design. If they have people running around confused, then it's easy to control them as slaves. I mean, it's so easy to control people that are confused already. It makes their job so much easier. You know what's interesting? You know what's really interesting too? You got me thinking of something came to mind. The Tower of Babel, Babylon, right? The Tower of Babel and the languages. But apparently in the Bible, the story is that they built the tower so high, and God got afraid that humanity was getting too high in this tower and had to stop them. So they crumbled the tower and then created a whole bunch of division with over 100 languages for people so that they wouldn't be able to understand each other. But you notice that the people that believe in religion, believe in God, and believe in Christianity will say, well, God can't interfere to destroy evil. Well, why can God interfere and destroy our tower when people are building a high tower to try to reach the heavens? But God can't interfere when evil's running wild in this world, and at the top of the evil pyramid, the Illuminati, the billionaires, the entities above them, all the ones that cause so much harm and control humanity through evil means in this realm. God can't interfere with that, but if humans build a tower, well, then God has to step in and destroy it. And God, come on. It's laughable. It's just laughable, you know? It's so ridiculous. Why can't God step in and fix things and get rid of evil and interfere when it comes to evil? Why is evil allowed to do whatever it wants in this realm? Yeah, be fruitful and multiply. This realm needs more slaves and more energy. So be fruitful and multiply. Well, I'm glad I didn't bring any children into this fucked up place to suffer in this place. They want a big farm here. They want a big controlled farm. They want a system that runs kind of like China. I think that's the model right now, where it's going to be, you won't even be able to get on a bus and take a bus from a city out into the country if you don't have the social credit score. They can keep you penned in a place where you can't even travel. Where you have to live within a certain number of blocks where you're fenced in. They have these fenced in areas of the city already over there, where if you don't have the social credit score, the gates don't open. You can't even get out of your little area, your little neighborhood. You're just trapped. That's what they want, and people will tolerate this. People don't fight for freedom in this place, and they don't understand where they are. I was going to say also, somebody if somebody's on welfare, let's say they're living in welfare alley in I guess it'd be a council estate home in England, or here it'd be welfare alley. We would call it a townhome paid for by the government, or a project. Is it section something in the United States? And you're living in a dump basically. Let's say it's way worse than the ones that get fixed all the time in England. There's some really dumpy ones in Canada, rundown places. They look like shit. They look terrible, and they're raising their children there. Section 8, thank you, Michelle. Section 8 housing. So they're living in these dumps. Now, if they won the lottery and they won $5 million, let's say, and in Canada you don't pay taxes, in the States you do. So let's say you won $10 million in the States, 50% went to taxes, and you got $5 million. It's still a hell realm. You're not poor anymore. You're a millionaire, but it's still a fucking hell realm, even if you have millions of dollars in your bank account. It doesn't change the realm. No. That's what these people have to understand. So that dumbass that said earlier, well, Stephen, you have money and you can have these extravagant meals, you can blah, 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 and buy properties. It's still a hell realm. These idiots don't understand why I spend my time speaking this way, because they think, well, why is he talking about this? Why doesn't he just, enjoy life? Well, I know it's a hell realm. That's why I'm speaking this way. I can't fix the realm. I can't change the realm, but I can spread the message of what this place is and what's going on here. And also, even if my life was glorious, if I was having delicious meals and everything I wanted and having fun every day and just enjoying myself out on a yacht or cruising on a sailboat, I know I'm in a hell realm. I know there's people starving here. I know there's people tortured here. I know there's children born deformed. I know there's 10,000 diseases, there's genetic disorders, there's suffering beyond the imagination going on in this realm. I know I'm in a hell realm. I know I'm in a hell realm. So it's not about just having a good life. That doesn't change things. It doesn't. They just don't understand. They can't grasp that,
Well, the thing, because they got money and they can buy a bit more expensive shit. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's still buying fucking shit at the end of the day, but it's just a little bit more expensive. They can buy a brand new. Let's say they can buy a better car, but it's still fucking crap. A better computer, still fucking shit.
And they seem to think that if one's life is better or easier or has leisure, or you don't have to worry about money if you're independently wealthy, they seem to think that changes the realm, that it's no longer a hell realm. They seem to misunderstand these people that are on Team Evil, or creatures. They seem to believe that hell realm is just a feeling like, oh, my life sucks, this is a hell realm. It's not like that. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not calling this realm a hell realm because of my life. If my life was fantastic or if my life was terrible, I see the realm the same way. It's the realm I'm looking at. I'm looking beyond my circumstances, my wealth or poverty, my situation, beyond myself personally. I'm looking at the big picture of this place, which they won't do. These idiots won't do that. They just, that's what's frustrating to me. That's one of the things that still does frustrate me. These people that they just won't look bigger. It's not about the truth. It's about they're so different spiritually. They won't get it. They just can't get it. They don't get it, Manny. Even when I say if I died tonight and I was gone, then I'm no longer a factor at all in this realm. But it's still a hell realm for millions and millions and millions of people here. They know it's a hell realm at some level because they're suffering. And then there's they just don't understand, and they never will. These whether they're empty vessels, golems, or just of this realm, they just seem to think that whatever material shit makes their life, and they think that if they had all the material shit, if they had Lamborghinis and McLarens and Ferraris and Porsches, and if they had all these luxury yachts and had properties and lived like a rock star or rap star or whatever, they think that, oh well, then it's great. But the realm is still the realm. They just can't grasp that. It's and they never look beyond themselves. They never look beyond themselves to see what on my own street. There's people suffering. I don't have to look all the way to India or China or African countries. I mean, I have looked at those. I've showed footage. There's people suffering, crawling around. Some people without even legs, children without legs, where they're beggars and they have no legs and they're a child as an orphan, and they're out in the street trying to get money to feed themselves. Does it mean that there's no millionaires in India? No, there's some millionaires in India. There's some millionaires, but look at how many people are fucking living in poverty. Just because there's some millionaires doesn't change the whole country. Just like just because there's some people that love this realm doesn't mean it isn't a hell realm. When somebody's dying, like when my mom was dying, I wonder what these other creatures think, because they think, well, their life is good, but their mom is dying and suffering. Like I guess they would say, well, it's not a hell realm because my life is good. Well, my mom, it's like, well, you have to remind them, yeah, your mom is dying in the hospital though. She's suffering. What's the point of all this suffering? They just don't care. They don't even think. They don't even. They don't feel for others. Yeah.
Just tell us.
I was the black sheep or the black wolf because I've never been a sheep, so I've kind of been a lone wolf. But in my family, I was viewed as the crazy one, and they view success by measuring it by, are you wealthy? Do you own a business? Are you, a rich doctor, a rich accountant, a rich businessman or business? Do you have this much money? Are you running this big company? Because I come from a family that's generally financially successful. They view success by finances, by money and status.
Yeah.
But Louise asked a question here. Do you think there's something to life scripts, Stephen? Yes, I absolutely do, Louise. I think there's a lot to life scripts. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't. I wish I could say no, there isn't. But I do see that playing out in my life and the lifetimes of others as well around me. So I think there's a lot to life scripts. I think there's certain things that are put in our path that's kind of unavoidable. It's like you're driving along and all of a sudden a brick wall pops up, and it's not your fault. It was placed there. And I'm not saying that we agreed or consented. I'm not one of these people that says, oh, we sat down before this lifetime and scripted our lives out. No, I see no evidence of that at all. I didn't script out the abuse I went through, the trauma I've gone through in this life. I would not have scripted that out for myself, and I wouldn't script it out for others. I think there's entities scripting this shit and interfering with our lives just like they do. They interfere with our dreams. They dream hack. They steal our dreams. They give us nightmares. They do all kinds of interference in our lives. It's interesting how evil's allowed to interfere. But apparently they say good can't interfere. God can't interfere because we have free will, but evil can just jump in and interfere all the time whenever they want, right? Like that doesn't add up and make sense at all, but that's what's going on here. Good isn't allowed to interfere. God can't interfere to do good, but evil can interfere with us even when we're vulnerable asleep. How late is Jesus? I'm gonna give him a late slip. Like they give you in high school. They used to give these slips if you're late. If Jesus ever did show up, I'd give Jesus a late slip and a kick in the ass, and I would say, Jesus, where the hell have you been for thousands of years as all this suffering and evil's taken over? Why did you just sit there watching all of this?
Well, why is he stuck in traffic or something? I've been saying that. I said, when's he going to come down?
Stuck in traffic, yeah.
I'll keep the faith. Jesus is coming down. Don't worry about it.
He missed heaven's shuttle bus to Earth. He didn't get here. He's been delayed for thousands of years. Just watching all this shit show. This is a torture chamber. Do you know how many people have suffered in all those years that if he ever lived at all, in the time of 2,000 plus years ago? I mean, it's just ridiculous that people are waiting around for a Jesus character.
After watching your videos on Jesus, I was thinking just a bloody Mason. That's what he was. And
I think so. I think the Bible's a Freemasonic book.
Yeah, definitely is. I think it can't be anything else. I mean, what did Jesus do? He just played games with people. He's talking parables or something. So he never gave anybody a bloody straight answer, did he? So
and it just gives people false hope. Jesus is coming back. He's coming back to save us. Jesus is coming back to save us. And then, the end times, the end of the world. Oh, it's the end times, the apocalypse. We're in the end times. You have millions and millions of people that believe in that, and they're putting their hopes on that. Children that are abused in various ways that I won't go into, but horrible ways, did not create the reality. They didn't create that trauma and suffering and abuse and torture. People don't create this shit. Good spirits are not creating this shithole reality. Louise said, do you think there are portals out of here other than the white light tunnel? Well, I don't think the white light tunnel is a portal out. I think it's a way right back in here. But as for portals out of here, I think it goes by intention, Louise. It's not a matter of finding a portal or a hole, but it's about using your mind's intention to, in a sense, travel, using your spirit mind, your consciousness, your intention, your will to travel out of the matrix, to leave here. If you have no attachment to this place, they won't be able to use it against you when you leave. My attachment will be gone before I ever am in the process of leaving this body. Before I'm dying, it'll be gone. So I will be intending and using my mind's power, my power, to leave this matrix. I won't be looking around for a portal or a hole in the fence or any of that Wes Penray stuff that I've covered in a video. I think he's a bullshitter. I think he's a gatekeeper and a deceiver. But I think most on YouTube are. And the weird thing is most people can watch these YouTube channels that are sponsored, and it looks just like TV. It looks exactly like TV. They break into a commercial selling gold or selling this product or that product or one product or another, and then they have paid sessions where you have to pay them hundreds of dollars to talk to them on the phone for an hour. And it's just like television. And people fall for these channels. It's like, come on, people, you got to realize these channels just want your money for one thing. They make a living off of this. And I don't have to point it out all the time. People already know, but I don't make a living doing this. I'm not a professional YouTuber. You don't see a dollar sign right now in the live chat to click on. There's no super chat button. There's no dollar sign. I don't do this for money. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have Cash App. I don't have PayPal. I don't have Venmo. I don't have 20 different crypto ways to donate. I don't have a membership club where you pay money every month to be a member to get special access to videos and emojis and all this and that. And I don't do any of that. I don't do any of this for money. Any of it. There's no money involved. I'm sharing things for free here because this is about the truth and it's spiritual. But be wary of these channels that have their hand out all the time. They have a million different ways to donate money. Like this is the biggest red flag in the world, waving in front of everybody's face. They always want your money. And then they have commercials. They have sponsorships. Do you know how much some of these channels are getting per month? Hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. A lot of these channels are getting 20, 30 grand a month in income. And people think they're truth channels. It's mind blowing to me at this point that people still fall for that stuff. I mean, it's so obvious. It's so obvious.
So you fill yourself out.
That's what Hollywood's about. And that's what YouTube is kind of taking over for TV. They're switching. They're transitioning from television to YouTube and online social media to program people this way. Some of these channels, I swear, some of these channels might as well say sponsored by the CIA, and people would love it. It could be sponsored by the CIA, sponsored by MI6 in the UK. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They could have them. They might as well have true channels that say sponsored by Microsoft, sponsored by Google, sponsored it's like spy agencies and fucking Team Evil sponsors these channels, and people can't even see it. It's so obvious. Do people really think buying gold is really going to help them and save them?
Oh yeah, buy gold.
Do you think that I should put up the buy gold sponsorship like all these thousands, probably millions of other channels have? To buy gold, that's gonna save you somehow. Buy gold and use this coupon. Use this. This is made up. I'm not selling you anything, but use the coupon King Stephen 20 and you'll get $20 and extra gold or something. Like it's just fucking stupid. It's ridiculous.
It is. I mean,
people fall for this shit.
Yeah, I can remember a lot of YouTubers are saying, back your currency up with gold, buy gold, buy gold. And
how's gold going to help you in a hell realm where they control the fucking gold? They create the money. It's fiat currency. They control the stock markets. The stock markets are more controlled than any casino in Las Vegas. It's rigged. It's all rigged. People, I can't believe that people can go years looking into this stuff and they just still don't get it. They just don't get it. You know? Isn't it interesting how someone like me can have all kinds of evidence and present evidence and back up what I'm saying about my model for this realm, for reality, the afterlife? I can back it up. But people would prefer to believe in a Jesus where they don't have proof whether he even lived or not, or is ever going to come. It's interesting, isn't it? And what people will fall for. So this is what they do. This is where food grows in. Whether we eat vegetables or This is the grass that the cattle eats, like cows that grow grass or that grow grain, or no matter what animals eat. Everything here that we eat is grown in shit. All of it. All of it's grown in shit. In this is the sewer matrix, and this is what I was showing earlier. They spray shit on everything, whether they're growing vegetables out of it, or then this grass grows, and then they'll put the cows out to pasture.
Exactly, man. We're living shit, man.
It's all from shit, all of it. And then people say, "Oh, Steven, it's not a sewer matrix." It is a fucking sewer matrix. It's all grown in shit. Everything here is from shit. They spray it all the time. They're constantly spraying tons and tons of this shit. And if they don't spray the shit, then eventually the fields will die, the grass will die, so there'll be no nitrogen, the soil won't be able to grow anything. It's just an incredibly fucked up system. There's no way to fix it because it's not broken. It is by design. That's part of the trick and trap that just keeps people coming back here because they think, well, if I can fix it, if I can only make this realm better, if I can fix this and fix that, and maybe we just have to do this, and it's just a complete fucking trap. There's no way to fix it. Lolita read a book, and this all made sense. She read the book, and it must be true. It's printed in a book. It must be true. And this is a level that not only Lolita's at, but millions and millions and millions of people, whether it's belief in that book or belief in the Bible or the Quran or another book. This is what the level most people are at in this realm. Unfortunately, somebody could write a book on toilet paper and staple it together and probably get people to believe it. But if it's printed well and binded and sold in bookstores and in school libraries, university libraries, it must be true. Then is their logic. This is a realm of gullible fucking zombie slaves. And I'm not saying it angrily like Mark Passio and these others. It is sad, but it's also disturbing when you think about it. When you really think about it, how gullible the average person is next to you, your girlfriend or boyfriend, your wife, your husband, your daughter, son, your parents, your next door neighbor, your bosses or coworkers or whoever, people on your street that you wave to or say hi to once in a while. The gullibility of most people walking around on two legs in this realm is off the fucking charts. And I'm not exaggerating by saying that. And I'm not saying it as a mere insult to just put them down. I could put them down in a million creative ways. I'm saying it because it's true. It isn't just that most people are zombies and most people don't want the truth. They're also gullible. The gullibility in this realm, it seems genetic or something, like it's programmed into them because it's so extreme, okay? That people will believe something just because it's written in a book. And I feel like taking some of these people aside, even though it won't help them, and whisper in their ear and go, psst, psst, anything can be written in a book. Anything. I could write anything, type anything, and get it published and put it in a book. Anything can be written in a book. There's no truth checking for books. None. That includes the Bible. That includes modern day shit in books. Anything can be put in a book. Anything. And a lot of people are gullible to the point they read this stuff and say, well, it was in a book. Well, so what? So what? You might want to get beyond that. If you're new to my channel, there might be people listening that are new, or there might be people listening to this live stream weeks from now or months from now, and they might hear this video. You got to get beyond that. You got to get beyond, well, it's in a book. Well, so what? Most of what's written in books is untrue, not factual, fictional, or lies, or propaganda, or bullshit. Most. How about that? You're in a realm of deceptions. You're in a realm of theater. You're in a realm of lies and illusions. Do people actually believe that books are excluded from that? Like, that's ridiculous. Bullshit sells. That's what people want. They want garbage. I do want to avoid doctors. I try not to go to the doctor, and I haven't trusted doctors long before 2020. I mean, it's been decades ago. I didn't trust doctors anyway, because they've usually never helped me with almost anything in my life, you know. But and I've seen the harm they've done to others too. And it's not just that I'm worried about them doing harm to me. I'm just sickened by the fact that they've harmed so many others in this society across the Western world. And it's just what they've done is indefensible. We'll call it that. Who they sided with? They sided with Team Evil. Really, they're sellouts. Put it that way. The vast majority of them, and nurses too. Not just doctors. There's millions of nurses in just the United States. There's literally millions of nurses that work in the United States in healthcare. Nurses. Almost all of them are female. It's well into the upper 90-something%, I believe, of the stats. Who did they side with during all this, the whole thing? Think about it. And cops too. You know, there's cops are mainly male. There's female cops, but the vast majority are male. Who did they side with? Well, of course you know, right? You already know. People that are looking into this stuff for years, you know who they've sided with, right? So that's how, you know, some people could say, well, don't look at it as taking sides. Well, I do though. It's natural to view it that way. You side with good and truth, or you side with evil. It's pretty clear cut when it comes to these big world events, who you side with. When you think about it, that's what it really boils down to. Even with these, anyway, I'm not going to go into all that. I hope they break free, because when you start idolizing someone like this, you become a slave to a deceiver, a slave to a liar.